knows that you guys have feelings. The government knows that you will all fall in case they give you the perfect reason to. The government knows that they will use racism, socialism. They will know that they will use sexualization. These are all on there. That's their ammunition. That is their weapon. And every one of you are affected. Doesn't matter who it is. And as soon as somebody says something, everybody starts kicking each other because, oh, that's exactly what it is. But the truth is, I believe every single one of you are good people. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we say racial things, because I say a lot of racial things. That's not who I am. But I'm angry a lot of times, and I'll get my point across. And people will take offense. Sometimes I'll say a lot of sexualized things. That's not who I am. I have friends that are gay. But the point is, I get angry because they're using that ammunition. And sometimes it knocks me down because of the things I say. But that's not who I am. And a lot of you people, because it's public perception, will say, I can't support that person because he said this. I can't support that person because they said that. Isn't it funny? We're still playing in this bureaucracy of identity politics. Every one of you. Facts before feelings. But isn't it funny that even this last week here, all feelings aside, you guys are still falling because of the fact that you guys fall to what? Your perception of that person or that person or that person. Yet the energy is what you have forgotten about a movement. Whether it is Native American issues, whether it's white supremacist issues, whether it's sexualization issues, you guys all fall. This is how easy it is for them to manipulate and take over the situation and say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. And most of you guys will say, well, this guy said this girl said that, they said this and they said that, and everybody's falling. We all make mistakes. Most of you will never, ever admit to the worst mistake that you have ever done. It's like me. It was hard. I was a woman abuser. Maybe I still am. Maybe the way I talk, I still am. I fucking admit it. I admit it. I almost killed somebody in my life when I was young because I got sexually abused, and I almost killed them with antifreeze. I admit it. Am I justified? Never am I justified. Never. But I have emotions, and it has taken over me. I could have done it better. I've broken up my family because I'm adulterous. Me. I said it. I'm the perfect human being for being that corrupt and sinful. I have spat on my people. Even though I have made that page, I have used my anger to justify or not. It still was wrong in a lot of ways. But I made my points. Maybe I had to go through hell to meet a lot of people's demons. But nobody will say it. A form of abuse is manipulation. And we all know manipulation because a lot of you do it. A lot of you people that are on this side as well too, you women rip each other apart, you name it, all the way down the line. Yet we are so prideful that we can't even admit that our wrongs are what's wrong with us. And this is how easy it is for that entity, that devil of a government, to manipulate you. Sexualization. I stoned when I was a kid in the 80s, a lot of gay people, I don't know if they were gay, but they wore pink, and they were the way they talked, we went against them. Was I right? No, I was a child, but it was still wrong. There's a lot of things because of society. I was racist in the 80s, and I still am racist now. And a lot of issues, but that's not who I truly am. It's just ignorance. I don't believe in racism. I think it's ignorance. But the definition of racism is who I am. And I think all of you are racist as well, too, to a degree. Because of ignorance, we can't come together in cultures and societies. And this is what's happening here. They're trying to force a lot of things and saying this is what it is, but yet they let the back door in to perversion. I love everybody who loves me and treats me with respect, but they use racism as a weapon. They use sexualization as a weapon. They use all these things as a weapon, yet we can't even admit it. This is why I say I will only walk with people that are strong, that understand who they are. Not society, but who they are. The truest form of politics is right here. If you have a problem with yourself, we don't need you. We need you to admit. We need you to open. We need you to be strong. We need you to sacrifice who you are for the better cause of society. Like I said to the white people, I will not walk with you unless you say white pride. And is that racism? You can say it's racism, but I'm looking at the identity of why you can't say it, because you're ashamed or you're scared. I do not need people that are scared. I need people that are standing in their pride, in their glory. And if you're white, and that's a beautiful damn fucking thing. It's not about racism, but they will use that against you. They'll use it and call you a white supremacist. There's no such thing as a white supremacy. There's supremacy inside of you as a person, individual, which means you're a supreme being. And just because you're white and you can't say supreme being, then there's something wrong. And you know that it comes from the outside entity. They use humanist aspects to destroy you. There's nothing wrong with being happy and powerful and in your glory. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, yellow, red. Does not matter. But I can say it because I'm red. The black people can say it because they're black. The white people can't. And the yellow people are quiet because they experience racism as well too. This world is ripping itself apart due to what? Humanist aspects. Like we fucking matter. We don't. They don't give a shit about us. They'll just pick apart our issues. Just like what Justin Trudeau did to Stephen Harper. It was that easy. If you're looking for a problem, it's like a hammer to a nail. You'll find a bunch of fucking problems. But if you're looking for solutions of bringing people together in unity and love and understanding and elders and trying to uplift each other, it's not there, is it? Not one politician is going out there offering solutions. Have you ever seen two parties, instead of a House of Commons, bashing each other, being productive and say, we will help you. Can you help us? Let's work for Canada. They don't exist. Whether it's liberals or conservatives, they're fighting each other because that is what they use, is our emotions. But what I'm trying to do is find the strength of all people. Forget about the angers. Let's look at the positive aspects of life. It's hard because everybody seems to knock each other down. This diagonal thing, they're knocking each other down. I've done the same thing too, because I'm only looking at the land, not the fucking humanist aspect. But if you want me to look at the humanist aspect as well with land, then why the fuck don't you talk to me and I'll talk to you? You realize that I'm on your side regardless of anything. It's the lies that I'm against. And can I say it confidently? As a Native American with natural law, trying to do the best I can, yes. We gotta stand for Canada first. Hi, hi. You know, the government knows.
Well, good afternoon, folks. Hope y'all are having a good start to your day. Having a pretty good day here. A little sore, but I did finally get to sleep last night. Tossing and turning. Everything on my left side. Some sort of voodoo or something going on. They got like 4 different things wrong with my left side. And then I ran into the tree yesterday with Thor. Things are coming for me. I wanted to show that video because it popped up just before I came on here. And I'm so grateful to have finally found my people. And I don't just mean Adrian. There's a constant growing group of us, and they all know who they are. And it's so refreshing because I'm finally able to grow rather than just look over my shoulder at all times. And it is the utmost definition of unity. I will tell you that personally. This gentleman, when he speaks, same with our sister. I kind of explained it once, but it's like the hard drive registers. It's everything I'm trying to speak and can't put into words. And it's the true meaning of what we're here to do is create and protect the land and ensure that the next generation is here to create as well. Now, we're going to That's fair. I'll take that. I will take that. That was probably pretty funny to watch. No need to look over your shoulder, check in front to avoid getting into a tree. Thank you very much for that. Unconditional love, absolutely, Charlene. As you probably saw, if you did see the caption, I am going to rant a little bit and have some people's backs. We're going to save that to the end because I do have a mainly positive message. And when I get there too, it is a positive message. It's just a stern and blunt message because I refuse to watch the same deceit and witch hunting and people being thrown to the wolves. I've lived through this numerous times. I refuse to watch it. Not a fucking chance will I stand by and watch that. And yes, I disagreed with these men a few times over the past bit, but I loved both of them at one point, and I still do. And we need to understand that we need all of these men. We need all of the men, just like our sister says. And they are trying to destroy anyone with a voice, anyone that is strong. We cannot allow it to happen. So I refuse to watch it. And we're going to save that till the end. Your people. You know, people talk about unity all the time. And I couldn't sleep last night. And I actually said, screw it, I'm getting up for the day when I made that post, whatever it was, like 5, something like that. And I made coffee, and then fell asleep. It's funny how that works, but I did finally get some rest. But I was up thinking for a while and doing a lot of work, and I put something together that I really like because one of the first questions, one of the first teachings, I guess you put it, that I ever asked Adrian was, how do we achieve true reconciliation? And he explained to me his point of view, but he also explained to me that that's going to be different for everybody. And I now fully understand what he meant by that, and it really came to me last night. And I kind of spelled it out there for you guys. Truth with an extra U. True reconciliation requires understanding through unity, truth, and knowing the history. And I think that's pretty rad. I'm gonna keep using that. And I even got creative there, probably like 3:30 in the morning, and I put that bleeding crown in the middle, because we need to abolish the Indian Act, and we need to abolish the crown and give each and every one their sovereignty back. And the only way to do that is for us all to come together in one canoe. You know, we've been saying two canoes going together, and I heard someone close to me refer to it as one canoe the other day, and it gave me a different perspective. And I decided, you know what? So much of the, this is something we discuss quite often, so much of the, and it's sad, the traditionalism is like destroyed. But there's a little bit everywhere. There's little bits of hope everywhere. And a few of us have stated from the mouths of a few that we almost are the New Age tradition. It's up to us to establish those. And because let's be real, none of them have ever been upheld, or else we wouldn't be here. And it's important that people try to understand those old traditions and try to piece together the history, because there's a lot of gaps in what we're told. I made a chart the other day of the Crusades, all of the Crusades, and probably 70% of it was completely unknown. I got like 12 new names out of it. And I know there's some people that say, well, that's from the 1200s, it's 1100. What does that have to do with today? And it has everything to do with today. It really does. And that's where the understanding and the history comes into that word. You cannot, I'm saying it every day, and I'm going to keep saying it. You cannot understand and expect to affect positive change without knowing how the positivity was destroyed. And for a very long time, all of the positivity has been destroyed. This has been Satan's world for a very long time. And it's very obvious to those of us that are awake. But we are the light, each and every one of us, and we need to expose the deceit. We need to have each other's backs. And if we disagree, well, we're supposed to disagree. If we were all the same, that's the world they're trying to create. So for us to not be able to talk amongst one another while we're trying to fight against being trapped in a world where we won't be able to talk amongst one another, I think it's very hypocritical of us all, and we're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. So I saw some stuff that I didn't like. I'm going to come on here and talk about it. And it may surprise some. And I hope to talk to Gordon. I talked to Normann this morning. But I refuse to watch people be thrown to the wolves. And yes, we've all made mistakes. But those men stayed there all winter long, and they put their name on that place. How many others stayed there? How many frequented it? It is very, very low of people to put what was left behind there on the backs of the very two people who were there the whole time, who were willing to put their name on it. And that's not something I'm going to watch. And when I talked to Norm this morning, the story I got from everybody else about when Norm left, who was in charge, well, his matched that to a T. They did their due diligence before leaving. I don't know about funds. I don't care about the funds. we should all care about the funds. Anybody that was there should care about the funds, but not on this, on social media. They should just come together, chip in, whatever needs to be done. That's not the point. That's not all we're on here. I'm not on here to talk about the money. I'm here to talk about the moral aspect and the laughable aspect of thinking that we can come together in unity while allowing things like this to happen to our brothers. So it's just gross. And then I see the man who has caused so much deceit and so much evil, who has impersonated a traditional person on a fingerprint on a piece of paper in posing for pictures in Quebec with one of the freedom fighters I looked up to from Ontario. I've got some questions, and my questions aren't for Norman Gord right now, and neither should yours. Neither should yours be, sorry. If this is what you're focused on right now, just know that I knew Norman and we were close a year before this convoy. And I know wholeheartedly that Norman Blanchfield and his father are two of the hardest, bravest men in this country. And they would fight to the death for your children. Gordon would do the same. And I think that's all that needs to be said about that. That's where I stand. You cannot expect us to face what is coming this month by supporting these actions. And if I see anybody supporting them, I'm not going to call you out, but don't expect me in your life. I got nothing here, but I'm willing to, you know, I'll put in $20 my first pay, $40, whatever I can. We should all come together. This is not how we do things. That's all I have to say today. Love y'all.